Onana dici. Anahan tingo sinna ish. Baya. Ashla na lego azago. DJ na stoy do ashchad. Yegishta.
Hey.
Eyes on Kazuhira.
A message from the parasites.
Oh, well, since we're on base, I guess it's time to talk to Paz again. Got a picture for her. Hey, I hope you aren't, like, bleeding everywhere this time. That was pretty bad last time. Oh, yep, okay, you're good.
This one is a picture of a calendar. Maybe that'll jog her memory.
Hey, come on.
Look at the year.
Look.
What is it, Snake? One of the group birthday parties. They are something to look forward to every month. Miller was so funny at this one. When is the party this month? Last month was... I cannot remember. It was... And then I... No, that is not right. But I am an angel of peace. I am a student. I'm sorry, Snake. My head hurts. Could you let me rest?
What exactly is she drinking? Because I guess Mother Base just didn't care about underage drinking. Because she was... They still thought she was like a teenager.
It looked like a fruit soda, maybe.
Maybe.
Look, this game is made in Japan. They have the prettiest drinks in the world.
That's true. Well, we're still waiting for like more main missions to pop up, but we've got some side ops that we haven't cleared out. We've also got a... So the last story mission we did, remember we were getting that container, that film canister left by the intel agent? But also, here's her new costume. It's
a costume.
An actual, like, costume, and not just
Grey
pig's blood.
Soft.
Yeah. But when you get that film canister, you actually get a bunch of cassette tapes that are reports from the intel agent. Yeah, so we'll be listening to those, because we need to get our friendship up even higher with Quiet still.
Yeah. I like that putting her in this outfit means she has to breathe through her face, you know, like the rest of us.
Come on, conform, breathe through your face.
And forearms, I guess.
Like, how much of your skin really needs to breathe in order to breathe enough?
I bet if you put a shark in a wetsuit, it could still urinate.
We finished decoding the informant's report. That floating kid we've run into a few times now. Looks like he was a test subject in clinical experiments. The Soviets called him the Third Boy. The Third Boy was brought to a lab on the outskirts of Moscow from Czechoslovakia, after which he was due to be sent to a research center in Leningrad, then Siberia, and finally an academic town in Novosibirsk. It doesn't appear that the researchers witnessed the talents we've seen from him, but nevertheless he was quite the popular subject. His latent cognitive abilities suddenly awoke en route to Moscow. According to the report, the Third Boy was easily influenced by other individuals' biofields. Evil thoughts, in particular. They affected his mind like a virus. Extreme anger or resentment, motives for revenge, in other words. Now, during the transport flight to Moscow, the boy was exposed to a powerful mental energy field coming from a certain individual. Ever since, being conscious of his powers, he's become a sort of energy generator. What's unique about him is the way his acute telepathic abilities get taken over by another person's will. The boy began to physically parasitize individuals experiencing extreme anger and codify the host's desires. This includes amplifying the host's natural strengths. Or, in accordance with the host's desires, he can also implant program code in another individual, making them a puppet, essentially. Human neural synapses transmit weak electrical currents between neurons. These electrical currents, though at a level difficult to observe, warp the magnetic field outside the body. The third boy is able to pick up these weak fluctuations. Contrary to psychotronics, which involves controlling the human mind, his abilities as a receptor are too high. The emotions he picks up from another individual are amplified and unleashed into his body as they recur in his brain. They turn into microwaves, which then affect the physical world, triggering paranormal phenomena like the spontaneous combustion of organic matter or psychokinesis, moving an object without touching it. There's one other thing. While he's parasitizing a host, the boy's ego gets shut away, allowing the will of the host to take control of his powers, like some annoying static drowning out your own voice. That means he isn't responsible for what's been happening. Somebody's extreme anger has manifested through the third boy's powers in ways none of us could have predicted, which would mean this was going on somewhere around us.
So yeah, in missions where baby Psychomantis has popped up and I've had to censor the names and stuff, there's always one Russian name that pops up, and that's actually just Russian for the third boy. It's not his actual name, like I said earlier. Yeah, it's talking about how Psychomantis, like, amplifies people's powers and he gets, like, magnetized towards certain people. I'll actually show it in a later video, but in every cutscene he appears where Psychomantis is doing shit, you can actually tell which person he is currently, like, possessed by, like, by their emotions. It's actually really hard to tell, but there's, like, a little visual signifier on him.
Oh, that's nifty.
Indicating which person it is. The most obvious one was, like, in the very beginning of the game, or anytime he was giving Volgan his powers, his sleeves were always on fire.
Ah, yeah. His sleeves were wearing little domino masks when he was doing Skullface's will.
Yeah. Also that that cover me command that we've had for a little while is actually even better than I realized, because I forgot. If you send her to another base, like, really far away and say, cover me, like, she'll just wipe out the base for you ahead of time before you even get there.
Sneaking around.
So, this isn't one of them. I thought it was, because I just did not remember this side-op existing in the game. But in, like, maybe the last video of this LP, we might take a look at some fan-made side-ops.
Ooh.
So yeah, when I was digging through mods for a later video, and yeah, people have been able to actually make their own side-ops with little objectives, and they're actually kind of... Oh yeah.
You can just wave hello.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Looking back on it, a lot of things make sense now. The man on fire, Sahelanthropus, they both came to life thanks to the third boy's powers. Everything has been happening through him as a catalyst. We first saw him in the hospital on Cyprus. The boy parasitizing the man on fire's desire for revenge gave him his new abilities in return. He next appeared at the Hamid Fighters Fort where the honeybee was hidden. There, the boy parasitized Skullface's vengeful mind. He controlled Sahelanthropus, making it do whatever Skullface wanted. Same goes for when we extracted Emmerich onto the chopper. When he appeared at the Devil's House in Central Africa, Skullface's will controlled the man on fire via the third boy's powers. Everything is clear up to this point. But even the informant couldn't pinpoint who the host was in the cave within Serac power plant. Sahelanthropus suddenly became active, then crushed not only the man on fire, but Skullface as well. Surely neither of them could have been the host. Who else was at that location and bore anger more extreme than either of them? Whose will was controlling Sahelanthropus? According to the report, emotions transmitted in children's brains affect the surrounding magnetic field more strongly. Cerebral nerves are covered with insulation called myelin sheaths to increase impulse speed. The reason for this leakage has to do with the fact that children's myelin sheaths are still developing. So, how many children do you remember being there? Children with a burning desire for revenge and bearing a grudge against you. I can think of only one. Eli. We don't know what kind of life he's had, but the resentment he's shown toward adults is nothing short of extraordinary. The third boy resonated with Eli's mind. And that means Eli bore the strongest animosity of all individuals within the boy's reception range, estimated to be a 3-mile radius, beating out even Volgan and Skullface. The third boy has probably remained hooked on Eli's anger since. You remember at the Devil's House, the third boy showed an interest in Shabani? That must have been his ego making a rare appearance. He may possess abilities far beyond anyone else in the world, but he's still a kid. Maybe them both being kids was enough to bring them together. And if so, maybe with Eli, he isn't feeding off him, but acting in symbiosis with him.
Watch out if those two grow up and become allies in some sort of terrorist cell.
I won't help them, that's for sure. I would never. But yeah, I just love in like the world of Metal Gear Solid 5, like how mad you are and how badly you want revenge is like your power level essentially. I'm so pissed off. People can feel it 3 miles away.
Can we get R&D to invent the anger scouter?
Oh shit! Yeah, it would totally just be an upgrade to your binoculars when you scan dudes. Oh man. So there are later side ops that are about like we did one forever ago that was just like, oh, take out like the tank unit. Later ones will start adding in helicopters as well. And these are always a little annoying to deal with, especially if you're trying to do everything non-lethally so that you can collect more dudes and tanks and stuff, because you can't trank a helicopter. So you always have to like
attitude.
Because the helicopter is also like a thing you got to get rid of in these missions. So you always gotta airdrop in a rocket launcher or something, or you gotta have quiet with the anti-tank rifle. And something I did just a second ago, which I forgot you could do, honestly. So when you have a buddy with you, and you're like, oh shit, I want Quiet to have a different gun, or I want DD to like in a different outfit with a stun knife or something, you can just go into the menu and tell them to switch clothes, and like they just do it right there. You don't have to drop it in or anything. They just like turn invisible for a second, and then when they pop back in, it's like, oh, here's my other gun. Here's my other knife. But yeah, in these missions too, like, they do give you a rocket launcher. One of the soldiers always has one, but it only has one rocket in it. Which is not enough to blow up a helicopter.
Is this game gonna have the guts to show teenage Vulcan Raven learning to perform the ear pull?
Oh, shit. I wish.
In like a after credits sequence.
Yeah. So Quiet can take tanks out on her own too. It takes like, I don't know, 5 shots or something like that, but she's generally fine.
If Konami is listening, I would like to pitch a series of DLC missions called Foxhound Babies. And just see what's Sniper Wolf up to in these halcyon days of yore. Probably nothing good, because
probably nothing
the world
that
fucking
good.
sucks.
Yeah. Especially in the days where Big Boss is still doing stuff. Like, everything just seems miserable.
Maybe finally get Decoy Octopus on screen for the first time.
Right? That was a thing I truly thought, like... I really thought, at some point in 5, before it released, they gotta do something with Decoy Octopus, right? He's never actually had, like, true screen time.
What if Code Talker is Decoy Octopus?
Oh, God.
That's why none of this bullshit makes any sense. He's making it up. He's making it up as he goes. He's a liar.
That'd be fucked up. Yeah, I always really wanted to see more of Decoy Octopus in some capacity. Like, at least they kind of use their ideas for a potential boss fight with Laughing Octopus and MGS4.
Yeah.
Like, I'm glad that happened at least, but...
I mean, it's just funny because, you know, the first Metal Gear Solid was such a landmark in, like, here's an action game, but everyone's always talking all the time, and they have these defined characters, and, like, they have pasts, and maybe we will get into it more in other things, and maybe we won't. But then there's just this one guy. Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
You find out about him when you find out he's already dead.
God damn. Yeah, I kind of always wanted to see, like, even outside of Metal Gear Solid 1, I kind of always wanted to see more of the MGS2 people a little bit. Mainly Fortune. I don't know. Alright, we got one last tape from the informant. Explain psychic powers even more.
So what kick-started the third boy's powers? If we look at the location and time that his plane went down, we can make a pretty good guess. When the plane experienced the first anomaly, it gave an accurate report of its position to a control tower, due north of the Black Sea, 125 miles east of Kiev. Dead south on the Black Sea is Cyprus's Green Line. So the plane's position was directly north of the hospital where you'd been asleep for 9 years. And this anomaly was reported at exactly the same time that you woke up. The plane was enveloped in flame from the inside out. The fuselage burnt to ashes. There were no survivors, at least not publicly admitted. Your thoughts formed a synchronicity with the boy's psyche and were amplified inside his brain. That would have been more than enough to trigger his abilities. Your rage was like a big bang in his head, blowing the lid off his powers. The boy was then secretly moved to the lab outside of Moscow where Volgin was comatose. There, Volgin's thoughts resonated with the boy and he was awakened. Volgin became the man on fire, hell-bent on getting revenge on you. His instincts led him straight to you. Skullface knew Volgin from Operation Snake Eater, or perhaps from even before. Monitoring this pair of extraordinaries, he discovered the hospital and sent his assassin and XOF. Skullface was probably watching the situation from close by. Then, realizing how useful these two test subjects could be, he approached them. Reacting to Skullface's thirst for revenge, this time the boy let Skullface's will control Volgin. Volgin, at times driven by personal revenge, at times through Skullface's will, kept on moving, though his body was little more than dead meat. Perhaps there were moments where even your thoughts affected him as well. But without the boy's power, it was like the plug had been pulled from the socket. Everything was powered by anger, malice, revenge. This is how the end of the report sums things up. Both the third boy and the man on fire were originally test subjects of paranormal research for military applications, like telekinetically controlling the leader of an enemy nation and making him launch a nuke, or stopping the heart of someone on the wrong side of the Berlin Wall, experimenting with latent human abilities. They were used as tools of the Cold War. The boy's only crime was being born with unique gifts. But he was sacrificed on the altar of war. His life reduced to slavery under other people's wills. Turned into a living weapon with no will of his own. And eventually the only emotion he could feel must have been the desire to get revenge for the hand he'd been dealt. Boss, it's you that awakened the boy's powers. But there's more to it than that. I guess the anger emanating from you was something he could truly relate to.
The boy had also been killed and betrayed, and all people close to him left for dead.
Mm-hmm.
Middle school, man, it's rough.
And also, since we were close to it, we're gonna get another Mother Base soldier.
Oh, good.
But yeah, I know, like, Ocelot says, like, oh, Big Boss's anger and desire for revenge is what set Psycho Mantis off when he was flying near him, but, like, Big Boss doesn't seem mad. Miller is mad. He
didn't seem mad when he woke up. He seemed kind of disoriented and confused.
He seemed disoriented and confused, and, like, now Big Boss just seems, like, depressed. Yeah. Like, with the little amount he talks and the way he talks when he does, like, he just sounds depressed and like he wants to just move on from this shit.
Still waters run deep, you know. That's just a cover for a deep, boiling rage.
I forget who it was, but I remember there was some, like, video somebody made years ago that was just, like, analyzing, you know, this game in general, and they made the argument about, like, this game being about, like, Big Boss's depression via, like, the general absence of music throughout the game and how quiet everything is generally.
Yeah.
Like, Mother Base never has music in it, I guess, except for Quiet Cell.
You can change that at any time.
It's true.
One of the guys out on a mission at the time. He's fallen a long way from the glory days.
But, like, I get it.
Yeah.
I see it, yeah.
Come back to us.
One thing I do think this game does pretty decently is they make the Peace Walker days seem very nostalgic.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And like it was a good time for all. Like, oh, I miss those days. We had birthday parties every month on the birthday party strut. No one was mad at each other yet. We had a cat.
I mean, it's interesting you say that when you're using the Love Deterrence theme to, like, enact change on the world.
Yeah.
Just the power of that memory soothes the savage soldier. Hey, what's up?
Hey, seems like you're having a pretty easy time breathing through that amount of skin that's exposed. Huh. Huh.
It's raining.
This is a very popular scene to swap models in the PC version.
Sure.
The most recent model swap I saw this just like a week or two ago was swapping Quiet out for Hideo and swapping Snake out for a fan-made model of Mads Mikkelsen.
Boss, what are you doing in there?
I gotta take another shower for different reasons. Well, back to pause again.
Yeah, that'll be more comfortable, surely.
I mean, as long as she's not picking at that scar, she'll,
You get to the strut and now she's just entirely inside out.
Oh, man.
It's like a snap bracelet, you know, once you go, it just keeps going.
God. Hey, Quiet. That was, let's talk again later. I don't know.
Please talk so we all die.
Like, I could just call in the rain whenever I want now. It doesn't even cost that much money. I can do it whenever you want.
Why aren't you fighting famine, Snake?
Oh, Snake! What is it, Snake? The Costa Rican Sea. It is so beautiful. Costa Rica means rich coast. Please, please, get them out of my country. Them? Huh? Who was I thinking of? It was... And then I... No, that is not right. But I am an angel of peace. I am a student. I'm sorry, Snake. My head hurts. Could you let me rest?
So that photo of her on the beach with a bunch of soldiers reminds me, maybe I brought it up at some point in the Peace Walker LP, I did, but before Peace Walker came out, they released the full Love Deterrence song, and it was actually a music video where Paz and a bunch of other base soldiers were on the beats dancing to the song.
I'm sure it charted.
Yeah. But I don't think I've actually shown that anywhere in an LP, so maybe I'll like tack it on the end of this video later.
That's the copyright strike that's gonna kill us. Love Deterrence.
Damn it. You were able to survive Take on Me, but Love Deterrence. That's the end.
This is B-Quad. Arriving shortly at LZ. This is B-Quad. On station at LZ.
I like the... watching the legs pop out. That's nice.
Yeah, that is nice.
Nice little mechanism there.
Alright, Pequod. Oh, hey, look, you're back in your outfit. That was fast.
Well, she doesn't want to get a sunburn. Why isn't Quiet really tanned, actually?
Yeah, wait a minute.
Do the parasites mess with your melanin?
God, the parasites can do anything.
They can lie about Ocelot's aim. It's never off on any day, thank you very much.
I love you 届いてこの想いきっといつかは
すぎるの始まりなんてわからないの名前も平凡でどこにでもいそうでも生にいても私きっと君を見つけるよ素直な気持ち閉じ込め殻にこもった自分が嫌で気のないふりするその度にただ痛みが増えてく君は何を願うのそばにいてほしいずっとずっとそれだけなのに恋の横視力ほらゲームの始まりまっすぐな想いがほら今溢れ走り出す一人なんてもうやだよ見てよ私のこと全部君へとつながるのどんな過去も未来もずっとこの出会いが世界を変える放課後クラスに今は二人神様がくれたチャンスよ時間はただ過ぎてゆくきっとこのまま二人は素直に背中合わせで離れてゆくI love you 届いてこの想いきっといつかは叶うよねこんな気持ち切なすぎるのお願い止めて恋の抑止力